Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Beat the Book. I am your boy, as always, Bettor. Welcome into the show. Welcome into the channel. If you guys are new, we like to just, like I said, welcome you. I'm joined as always by my buddy MattyBets. Matt, how you doing tonight?
Doing great, doing great. We watched a little bit of football today, just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Sunday night games have just ended. We're not going to jump too much into it. Obviously, if you guys are watching this video, it's either Sunday night after the games or it's Monday morning. So you guys already know how the games went. We'll give you guys our takes on it and what we thought about the games, the matchups, and the winners, the next round of the playoffs. We're going to do all of that tomorrow night, Monday night after the Monday night game. After the whole entire weekend's done and over with, we'll give our picks and for the next week, kind of like
Live reactions.
live reactions, just like address what had happened and all that. So we'll go do a full breakdown there, and then give it a little tease for the weekend to come, where we're kind of leaning, maybe some opening lines there for the gambling side of things. But other than that, I'm doing good. Ready to talk about Monday Night Football. How about you?
Yeah, absolutely. Our hearts go out to the people in LA that are affected by the fires. Obviously, this game got moved. We're talking about Vikings Rams. It is now in Phoenix, which is close to Matt. Matt, are you going to the game?
I am
Did you figure that
not.
out?
I am not.
Ah, come on,
Yeah, I
man.
know. I thought about it and I was like, it would
Come
be so
on.
cool to just take a video, post it on, good old YouTube for everybody to see me at the game. But no, we're gonna
Yeah.
wait. To be completely honest with everybody, I have not been to an NFL game yet, and in my illustrious life. So we're gonna
Mm-hmm.
wait. We're gonna go to a Colts game, do it the right way. So we're gonna be doing that next year. Colts Chiefs. We're already got that in
Okay.
motion.
All
So
right.
yeah, that's
Definitely.
what we'll be doing in Kansas City. Won't be at Lucas Oil, but we'll still make the most of it for sure. The Colts are the one team that always have the Chiefs number for some reason. They're like the only team that can keep the Chiefs and Patty Mahomes under
Right.
20
The one
points or
team, right?
whatever. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
one of the teams, I guess. But when
Most
Mahomes
definitely.
when
Most
Mahomes was
definitely.
scoring like 30, 40 points and like MVP every year, all that, it was the Colts that would stop him, and they'd be like, "Whoa, this is the first time Mahomes hasn't scored 20 points," and it's like, "Yeah, well, it's the Colts." So
Interesting.
we'll see how that
Because
goes
I
next
remember
year.
last year, they won the Super Bowl, and a
Yeah,
team from Wisconsin went into their house and beat them, and it was one of
oh,
the only teams to go into their house and beat them. That's interesting.
that's weird that you would
Very
know that
interesting.
stat just right off the top of your
Hmm.
head.
That is weird, isn't it?
Yeah, just a
It
little
is
bit.
interesting. All right, let's hop into this game, though, Matt. Enough waxing poetic about other things and next season and what all the games that have already transpired. Let's get into this game that's happening in, you know, 20 hours. We got the Vikings taking on the Rams in Phoenix, Arizona. Matt's home city, state. Would we just say state?
Home state, yeah, that sounds better.
Okay, state. The spread, at least on DraftKings right now, and Matt will tell you his number, and he'll tell you his book. But on DraftKings, it's minus 2.5 for the Vikings, plus 2.5 for the Rams. The over under set at 47.5. Obviously, we know the Vikings are coming off that loss to Detroit, which was pretty bad. It was pretty one sided. Darnold didn't look great. And then the Rams are coming off, I believe they won their final. No, they lost to the Seahawks, but they didn't start any of their starters. So Stafford's rested, Puka's rested, Kyron's rested, Cooper Cup's rested. All the boys are ready to rock. So you got the Rams, Vikings, 2.5, over under 47.5. Matt, give me your thoughts on this game.
All right, so in this game, uh, the spread over under is the same except for the over under is set at 48. So it's still pretty much the same line
Okay.
there, depending on which side you're playing. But since it is 48, though, I like the under there. I just think the Vikings defense is really good. I don't think the Rams are going to be able to score a lot of points. I'm also not trusting Sam Darnold here in the playoffs. We saw him last week. I think the Lions showed us something of how you can actually stop Sam Darnold and the Vikings. And if the Rams
Okay.
learn anything from that game, they're going to be using all of it to their advantage. So I do see it just being a lower scoring game. The Rams, yeah, they can still score like 24, 27, but I just don't think the Vikings are going to be able to do anything. The Rams defense, from what I've seen, like I don't have stats for you guys, but from what I've seen, it's been a decent group. It hasn't been the best by any means, kind of middle of the pack. It's not, super great at any one thing. So I'm just going to take it to be kind of a slow, painful game. I don't think it's going to be super exciting. I think we'll get some flash plays here and there. I mean, with Jefferson and Cooper Cup and Puka Nakua on the field and Jordan Addison, like, you can't go wrong there. You got the tight ends, you got Hawkinson, you got Tyler Higbee. So you have weapons there and electric players that'll make great plays. but I just don't think that the scoring will be there. I think there'll be a lot of field goals in this game. So, with that being said, we're gonna go with the Rams here. I've liked the Rams. I've been high on the Rams all year. They're the healthiest
Yeah.
that they've been, except for like 2 or 3 weeks at the end of the year. This is the healthiest that they've been. I like Stafford here. Find his bag, his rhythm. Be a nice day here in Arizona. It should be like 65 degrees, maybe even 70. So, it should be a really good game, really fun game. I'm excited for it, and I like the Rams here to win this game. So we're gonna take them at the +2.5.
Okay. Yeah. What book are you using?
Bet MGM.
BetMGM has the game. So the spread's the same, but the over is set the half point high.
Yep.
Okay. I'm pretty much with you on the spread. We both have liked the Rams all season. I had a ticket that actually did cash for the Rams to win the West. I didn't know that the Niners would look as bad as they did, and I also didn't know that Puka and Cooper would get hurt and miss, half the season. But the Rams were able to make it happen because that division ended up being a lot weaker than we both thought it would be. Um, Stafford in the playoffs, he's a seasoned vet. Darnold, this is his first playoff experience, if I'm not mistaken. It's a big stage. Granted, he does have weapons. The coach is great. The team is really, really good around him. I just think that Stafford will make the plays that matter when they need to. Puka Nacua, his second game, if you remember last year against Detroit, he set a rookie record for playoff yards. He got over 100 in that first game against Detroit, and that game came right down to the wire. So I like them to get in healthy in this game and make something happen. I think they'll play with a little fire. I think the Rams might actually have a better advantage in Phoenix versus if they had played in LA, just because they seem to never have too big of an advantage in LA. But now you get all the fans that live in Arizona that are LA fans that will show up for the game. So I think it could actually be a better crowd for the Rams. Um, as far as the over under, I'm just going to tell you, Matt, I told you before uh, every under except the first game, Texans Chargers on the weekend so far, the under cashed, not the over, and I was on all the overs. I'm on the over for this, and I'm sticking with it because I wrote it down a couple days ago. We just didn't record until right now, so I'm going to stick with the over. I'm on the over 47.5. The Rams have been scoring like mad all year. The Vikings, we know they can score. So I like the over. I think both teams will get pretty good points, but I don't love it as much as I loved it when I wrote it down because all the other games ended up being under except for the Texans Chargers, which was probably the one game I was thinking might go under. So whatever, that is what it is. It's playoff football. So I'm on the over 47.5 and the +2.5 with the Rams, just like you.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I will say I did write this. I feel better about my pick. These are still the same picks that I wrote a couple days
Okay.
ago as well. So I didn't change those either. I thought about it and was like, oh, I could do the over, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
gonna go back and change my pick. Gonna stick with it. Stay true
Right.
to the viewers, to you guys, and also to you too, my co-host. So
Right.
yep. But other than that, four
All
pick parlays next. I will say a little teaser here. Almost hit. We needed 8 more yards
right. Oh man,
from Mike
Mike
Evans.
Evans,
Yeah,
dude.
like we're not gonna dive
Yeah.
into all the games, but that hurt. We hit every leg on the four pick parlay. It was +1200. We needed 8 more yards from Mike Evans. Didn't get it. It was a heartbreaker. I was
It was
waiting for
great,
that
man.
last drive, and I was like, okay, just miss the kick. It hits the upright. Oh gosh, don't even get me started. But a lot of emotions
Uh,
tonight. We'll get it back here on this four pick parlay. What do you say?
yeah, we'll get a date. We'll get a day to decompress from all the emotions from today, and then tomorrow night after everything's done, we'll come in fresh, good mindset, break it down. So, all right, let's hop into these, Matt. You want me to go first, or you want to go first?
You can go first if you want to.
All right, I'll go ahead and hop into this. I don't know if it's going to pay more than you, but it's a little more than I normally get on mine, which is a little more than the +700 I've been coming with. I really feel good about this one. So I got Cooper Cup at 50 plus receiving yards. I got Puka Nacua at 90 plus receiving yards. Like I said, his first playoff game against Detroit, he had over 100. So I like him here for 90 plus. I got Justin Jefferson at 100 plus. I just feel great. It's Justin Jefferson. What are we talking about? He averages 89 yards a game his career, so 100 plus in a big game. That feels good. And then I got Aaron Jones, 75 plus rushing plus receiving yards. This thing pays out +1,000 over on DraftKings.
Okay, and you said for Aaron Jones it was 70 plus,
75.
75 rushing and receiving.
Yeah, I get rushing and receiving. One screen pass he's going to take for 25, and then if you watch that Detroit game, he was catching passes out the backfield, and he was picking up 3.5 yards per carry. He was the one bright spot on their whole offense. And I mean, Justin Jefferson ended that game with I think anywhere it was 60 to 80 yards, but no other receivers were catching the ball, and that's really what hurt that offense. But Aaron Jones was like the offense for that game, so I expect him to do the same thing. And the Rams defense is good, not great. So I think I mean, Aaron Jones is going to, like I said, he's going to catch a 25-yard pass, screen pass, or 25 plus in passes, and they run the ball enough to where he'll pick up yards on the ground. So 75 plus. It's like minus 210, I think, for this pick. So he's definitely
Okay, cool. I like that a lot. It will not pay more than mine, which surprise
okay.
you
There
there.
you
Big
go.
shocker.
Bada
Normally
bing.
you have like
Well,
one pick
that's
in
bringing
there
out the
that's
big
just gonna
guns.
like pop up your tease or your stupid parlay. But I'll jump into
Mm-hmm.
mine here. It's pretty simple.
Okay.
We also got Cooper Cup 50 plus. It's a great
Okay.
pick there. Cooper Cup, he's the veteran on the
It
team,
is.
veteran receiver, Triple Crown
Yep.
winner. He's gonna be the guy here. Big stage. Stafford's gonna be looking his way a lot, in my opinion. Next, we're going Jordan
Mm-hmm.
Addison, 75 plus yards. Like you said with the Vikings, no other receiver on that team last week did really much against the Lions, so I like them to be able to pick it back up. Give Jordan Addison 75. I think the Rams will be able to play coverage on Jefferson a little bit better. Then we got Cooper Cup, anytime touchdown. It screwed me in the past. I'm kind of tired of it. Next round, we might switch things up. Then, last but not least, we're going Aaron Jones, 50 plus, just rushing yards, straight up, pays out plus 1,200.
Just barely got over me, and I bet you it's because of the freaking Addison pick. That has to be worth so much.
Oh, at 75? I don't
Yeah.
think it was that. I think it was the Cooper Cup touchdown.
Really?
Yeah, it's like plus
Okay.
200 probably, or plus
Wow.
175.
Okay.
Yeah, because they have.
Addison to 75 feels like a lot.
It does, but he's also the deep threat. That's where I'm
Okay.
going with it. Like
Sure.
it's
Sure.
gonna be a 50-yarder, and then it's here's a 10-yarder, and then here's a 15, and then here's a 10, and guess what? Now it's the second quarter. So I'll
Mm.
take that all
Okay.
day. Yeah, I mean it's just is what it is. You gotta find the advantage here in the book. They had a bad week last week. They have Jefferson. His numbers are inflated. Addison's high up there, yeah, for sure, but not as
Right.
high as Jefferson. And I just trust. I could see this game where it's like Jordan Addison has 70, or not 70 because I took it for 75, but he has like 90 yards, and so does Justin Jefferson. I could see them
No,
both
Addison's
doing.
had an incredible year. Like he's had a great year.
Yeah, exactly.
Tons of yards. Like so no, it makes sense for him to bounce back in a really big way. And honestly, that whole offense would have had a much better day if Darnold was just high on a lot of throws. He was rushed in the pocket, and I think he felt the pressure of how big the game was. And they hit him a ton. I mean, I think he got hit like 20 times in that game. He only got sacked like 4 times, but he got hit a
Mm.
lot.
And,
Uh, he should play much better this game.
and I think like the Lions kind of showed something there where I would expect the Rams to blitz a little bit more often than they normally would. So we'll see
Sure.
that there. But like you said, I actually want to circle back to what you were talking about with Sam Darnold. He felt the
Yeah.
pressure of the game. That's kind of a big deal
Yes.
here, right? Because last week was kind of technically a playoff game, but it also wasn't. It was just for the number
Right.
one seed in the bye. Like, obviously, I know that's super important, but also now you're actually in the playoffs. You lose, you go home. Last week, it wasn't lose and go home. It was lose and okay, you have to play on the road. Now
Hmm.
it's you lose, you go home. And if that's the Sam
Right.
Darnold that we saw last week, I don't want any part of it. That's why I like my Rams plus 2.5 pick a lot here.
Okay. My only pushback, and I'm not even trying to push back because I agree with what you're saying, but what I would say is I think last week's game is actually a bigger deal than you might be underselling it because, like you're saying, yeah, it's just for the one seed in the bye, which is important. But what I think is the bigger deal is they were 14-2, and their one of their two losses, they'd lost to the Rams, who they're playing right now, 20-30, and it was week 6 or 7, and they lost to Detroit. So in your mind, if you're Darnold, it's like, okay, I'm about to get revenge on one of the teams. I've only lost twice this whole season, and one of the teams we can go take them down, and then we're even. And so psychologically, I think it's a much bigger deal that last week was than just the one seed in the bye. Now, looking back, it's like, okay, well, we didn't get the one seed, we didn't get the bye, but that was a huge deal because it's like, oh, if we trade with these guys, it's like, yeah, we're on their level and we get the one seed and we get the bye and. Whereas, like, now you're 14-3, you're a wild card team, and now you got to go play the only other team that beat you this whole season
Yeah.
besides Detroit, which
Yeah.
sucks.
I guess that makes sense too because like you have the pressure of losing to these two teams and it's you either
Yep.
get revenge and beat them and then you don't have to play against the other team that you lost to in the Rams
Right.
because like they probably knew that they had to play the Rams by the time they
I don't
kick
know if
off and stuff.
anybody. Oh yeah, it was the primetime game, so they may have known, but
Yeah.
I don't know if that would have mattered. I think their coach was probably just like, "We win this game,
Yeah.
one seed.
One
Doesn't
seed
who
and
cares
bye
who we
week,
play?
yeah. And then
Don't
people
even
have
think
to
about
come to
losing this game.
Minnesota
We're
to
gonna win
play.
this game." Yep. Exactly.
All right. Well, who do you like to score a touchdown here in this game?
Okay, so I'll hop into my touchdown scores. It's pretty simple. I've got Justin Jefferson at minus 120. He's Justin Jefferson. We don't really need to say much more than that. I have Kyron Williams at minus 130. He, he's a touchdown magnet. He finds the end zone. They run the ball. He can catch the ball. It's Kyron Williams. He's incredible. We got Aaron Jones at plus 125. He's Aaron Jones. He's kind of like Kyron Williams, just a little bit older, and I would, not in his prime as dynamic, but same kind of player. And then I got Cooper Cup at plus 150 just simply because he's been there, he's done that. Um, in clutch situations, Stafford knows where he's going. He's going to get open. So I like Cooper Cup plus 150.
Okay. My pen gonna cooperate? There we go. I don't mind
Uh-oh.
those picks like normal. When we do these touchdown scores, well,
Yep.
I guess not usually, but in this game especially, you can kind of see the difference in bettors that we are when it comes to because obviously the touchdown scores we take them separately. If we feel good about
Yep.
them, we'll put them in a parlay together. Uh, but here you kind of just see you have Justin Jefferson at minus 120, you have Kyron at minus
Yep.
130, you got Aaron Jones at plus 125, and then Cooper Kupp at plus 150. I also have
Yep.
a plus 150, and that's my lowest.
Okay.
So I always start a little bit higher. I like to get the better odds, especially if I'm betting them singly. I'd rather take the
Sure.
odds. Like you guys have noticed all season, I most likely have a reach for every game too, where I have like a plus 400, plus 500. Playoffs are a little bit more cut and dry, where I haven't been doing it as often. We'll see how if we change that up next week. We saw a couple this week that there were some
Mm-hmm.
guys that were a lot lower there. Where
Franklin.
you would have gotten a lot of money back. So, well, we might change it up. We'll see. But I also have Cooper Kupp like you do at plus 175. Then I got Jordan
Okay.
Addison. He's at plus 150. He's my plus 150 pick. And then last but not least, we got TJ Hawkinson at plus 210.
Old Hawk.
Yeah, I thought about putting Higbee in there, and then I kind of just pumped the brakes a little bit on that. He hasn't scored a touchdown since his first game back, so we'll
Right.
see. I mean, it was cool. He got back. They gave him a touchdown. That's cool, but it's playoffs now. I'm not going to take one touchdown and throw it in there and be like, yeah, this is gospel now. He's going to definitely score. I'm going to take the
Right.
guys that I think will score on that team, which is Cooper Kupp. I like your pick, and I'll second your pick on Kyron. Kyron scores almost every game, but if I'm going to take Kyron personally and I'm going to just throw a single unit on it, I'm probably going to take Kyron for two as opposed to just one. Because
Okay, but would
Kyron's
you
the type.
take Kyron or Justin Jefferson because they're similar odds?
If I had to take one of them,
Mm-hmm.
I'd take Kyron.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, he's the running back and the receiver, and I will say one thing that I do not like about that is the fact that their backup running back has been getting so much. Um,
I don't even know who their backup is, dude.
Conklin or Conlin or it starts with a C too. Oh, I don't know.
Okay.
Whatever. He's been getting the ball a lot more often too, so I don't really like that. But then again, like we've talked about, it's playoffs now. You're not throwing in
Mm-hmm.
the second string running back. You're going to put Kyron in there. Big situations. If you're 10 yards from the goal line, that other guy's not even going to see the field. And if he does,
Yep.
he's just going to be a smokescreen. So, yeah, I like Kyron a little bit more than JJ. Don't get me wrong. I love Justin Jefferson. He's one of the best receivers in football. But, in a game like this, and if I'm just doing one bet, and I had to take one, at
Mm-hmm.
minus money, I'd go with Kyron there for sure. And it's minus 130 to minus 120. It's not a big difference.
Right. No, no, it's very similar odds. I was just like interested in your take on it because Justin Jefferson is a stud. I think he had 10, 12 touchdowns on the season and he's finds ways to get open. So, but also Kyron Williams is a beast. So it makes
Mm.
sense. Like you said, with the Higbee situation, it's like if the Rams make it through this round, I think I'll probably splash Higbee next week because he'll have had 3 weeks since his first touchdown. And it's like, okay, now we've had some time for people to kind of forget about him a little bit, and he's had more time to get acclimated and involved. So, um, and his odds are going to keep getting higher.
Yeah, the longer he goes without a touchdown, you're going to get those odds are definitely going to spike up
Mhm.
because he hasn't scored. But the longer he plays, the more trust Stafford's going to have in him. We'll see. We'll look at his production too during the games and see if he
Sure.
had 6 targets and 6 catches, or 6 targets, 5 catches. 2 targets in the red zone, and then we'll look at
Right.
those stats too. And then yeah, you might be getting it might be end up being a reach play next week if they do win
Well,
this
plus
game and move on.
320 or something on him.
Yeah, like a plus
Right.
300, maybe even a plus 400 for him because you have Cooper Kupp, Puka, and Kyron all score touchdowns, and then their backup running back also scores a touchdown. Like you could have something like that where the book has to level those guys out, and they can't have 7 Rams players. If all 7 of those guys score, then Higbee will have to be at the bottom.
Right.
Exactly. So, yeah, we'll see. We'll monitor it, and we'll go from there, and we'll figure it out. I mean, still got a ways to go. We still have this game to figure out, and then we got to see the winner of this game before we can start talking about just Higbee. But
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Well, thank you guys for tuning in as always. Super wild card weekend of playoff football games. Enjoy Monday Night Football. It's the last time we're going to get the ESPN broadcast of it, Joe and Troy. So, enjoy the In the Air tonight for the one final time with Chris Stapleton and Snoop Dogg. And Matt, you got anything else to say before we sign off here?
nope, just like we always say, remember, protect the bag, beat the book, look good while you're doing it. Um, and other than that, yeah, thanks for the support, guys, and we'll catch you guys Monday night after the game for our wildcard weekend recap.